We have some great stories for you on this edition of the Center of It All. For all those soon-to-be brides, we hit up the Central PA Bridal Expo to get some tips on how to plan a budget-friendly wedding. We also check out the new Primanti Bros restaurant in downtown State College, and we have the Mark and Roy Band in studio. These stories and a whole lot more coming up next on the Center of It All. Hey guys, welcome to the Center of It All. As a soon-to-be bride, I'm always looking for ways to save money on my big day. I visited the Central PA Bridal Expo to get some money-saving tips and talk to some soon-to-be brides. Every girl dreams of her perfect wedding. Everything from the flowers to the groom and of course the dress. When it comes to your big day, nothing should stand in the way of your happiness. These days, the average wedding costs are through the roof, and a lot of soon-to-be brides are looking to do a ceremony on a budget.
Yeah, they say the average wedding is like $28,000 or something crazy. We're hoping to come in under that.
We don't have a lot of money to splurge, but we try and keep it cheap, but still beautiful.
No, we definitely do have a budget. My parents are gracious enough to be paying for it for us, so we do have a budget, definitely.
Wedding planner Holly Wagner says there are many ways to cut costs.
You can't do the champagne on the beer budget, so to speak. So it's really thinking about what's important and what matters and worrying to cut costs, what's in season. Sometimes you can get better rates at a venue if you get married in the off season as opposed to the prime season of summer. You can do things like making sure you use in-season flowers, watching your food, maybe getting something a little bit more simple as opposed to something like lobster, so to speak. So it's all about working with the bride and what's important to them. So a lot of times we ask our clients, what's a splurge area and what's a save area. And there's a lot of fun DIY projects out there that you can do. There's times of years with sale, and I also encourage brides, the more time you allow yourself, the more it's easier to stick to that budget because you have time to scope those sales and you have time to save money as well.
Websites like The Knot and Pinterest are filled with tons of do-it-yourself wedding ideas.
Looked at, my aunt's a florist, so we'll do all of our flowers ourselves and centerpieces and do invitations and whatnot ourselves, hopefully to try and keep it down.
I think we are going to do some stuff DIY. We have some members in my family that are kind of available as resources for us. My brother-in-law owns a restaurant, which is nice for us. My aunt's a florist, so we are kind of using every resource that we can.
When it comes to your big day, no matter what the budget, you can have the wedding of your dreams. If you stick to a plan, splurge on what's important, and remember, the day is about you and the one you love, not how extravagant the event was. I got so much information at that expo, and even entered to win a honeymoon in Jamaica, so fingers crossed. When we come back, we check out a new eatery in State College. Welcome back. Now guys, we have another restaurant to choose from in downtown State College, but this Western PA chain may have something you can't find anywhere else. The well-known Pittsburgh restaurant chain Primanti Bros opened its new location this past Friday in downtown State College. Operations Director Mike Mitchum says it's been a project 10 years in the making.
We've been looking to come to State College for probably, I want to say, 10 years. We've never really found the perfect spot. We were looking out at North Atherton, we were looking out near the mall, we were looking at a lot of different places to come, and then the opportunity to come to such a iconic location here in the downtown State College Borough, the opportunity arose and we jumped on it. We're like, this just feels like the right spot for a Primanti Brothers. So here we are, and we're pretty stoked about it.
Since the early 1930s, Primanti Bros has been serving the Pittsburgh area with specialty sandwiches. Their new spot at 130 Heister Street will be their 24th location.
Our first location opened up in 1933, just as a sandwich cart. And one day, a guy rolled up with a load of potatoes, walked it over to our sandwich cart and said, "Hey, can you cook this potato up for me?" So we cut it up, and Joe Primanti, like an actual Primanti brother, put put the potatoes on a sandwich, and that was it. And after that, we kind of moved to what is now our original location on 18th Street in the Strip District in Pittsburgh, and like the legend was born. We opened that in 1933. The Primanti Brothers ran it until the 70s, and then a guy by the name of Jim Petrinas took it over in the 70s. Here we are. This will be our 24th location in State College, and like I said, we're pretty stoked to be here.
This State College location will be uniquely different from any other Primanti Brothers restaurant.
If you've been to one Primanti Brothers, you've been to one Primanti Brothers. This location is so much different from the Strip District, so much different from our Robinson location. Yeah, we're a Pittsburgh-based kind of spot, but we're trying to come a little bit more east. We're trying to embrace that eastern side of the state. So a lot of people know Primanti Brothers just from the sandwich. We're not just sandwich. We have great pizza. We have huge salads. We got great burgers. We've got a huge menu, and I think it's going to bode well here in the downtown borough of State College.
Be sure to check them out at 130 Heister Street, and for more information, visit PrimantiBrothers.com. I can't wait to get my hands on one of those almost famous sandwiches. We recently stopped by Discovery Space, where they're offering a mini maker fair to get you away from technology and get families creating something together. Sparking children's creativity, curiosity, and imagination through engaging science experiences. That is the mission of Discovery Space, a nonprofit organization in downtown State College.
We are a hands-on children's science center, so we are open for families to come in and learn together and explore together and get inspired to do some science.
Its third year in action, Discovery Space makes learning fun with interactive programs like Makeuary running now through March.
We're having a mini maker fair, and this is our space here. Our maker fair is all hands-on activities for parents and children to come and create things. Each week we have a different activity. Last week we were making balloon-powered cars. This week we're making duct tape things, whatever children decide they want to make. We're going to make hoverboards. We're going to make all different kinds of fun stuff.
The Mini Maker Fair is designed to leave technology behind and get your creative juices flowing by making something fun with your family.
This maker movement is very popular right now, and there's a lot of people wanting to do something different and kind of get back to the basics, and that's what we're hoping families can do here. They can work together and build a duct tape boat or, a balloon-powered car.
The Children's Science Museum offers a wide variety of programs for children of all ages.
We run programs all the time, so we just put out our summer camp brochure. We'll be running camp all summer long. We run programs Wednesday and Thursday mornings for babies and preschoolers, and then we also have drop-in weekend activities.
With interactive exhibits, hands-on activities, and informal science education, the Discovery Space is a fun place to learn.
I love everything about Discovery Space. I'm excited to see families learn together and work together and get excited about science, and it's just neat to see that creativity and curiosity being sparked in children every day.
Visit discoveryspace.org for a full list of their Makeuary programs. Now coming up on Kitchen Encounters, Mel is searing up something special for the big game. We're back here on the center of it all. With the Super Bowl right around the corner, Mel is cooking up a flat iron steak sandwich any sports fan would love.
Winter doldrums? There's really no such thing when you live in a college town. We have plenty of things to keep us occupied. Wrestling, basketball, hockey, something for the sports fan in all of us. Whether you're in a hurry to head to the arena or just sit down and turn on the tube, today I'm going to show you how to make a steak sandwich that really does go from stovetop to table in less than 15 minutes. Let's get started. Up until recently, this flat, rectangular shoulder muscle was relegated to making ground beef. Like its other flat steak cousins, the flank steak and the skirt steak, it took a lot of people a long time to realize that when properly cooked, fast and furious, this inexpensive cut of meat tastes every bit as good, if not better, than the expensive ones. One more tidbit. Flat iron steak got its name from the heavy irons that women used to heat on the stovetop to do their family ironing. I've melted 2 tablespoons of butter into 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm heating this up over medium-high heat because I want to get a really good sear on this meat. And the word sear simply means fast and high heat. You're going to cook these steaks fast over high heat, unlike braising, which is low and slow. I'm going to take the first steak, which I've seasoned lightly on the top with salt and coarsely ground black pepper, and I'm going to put it in seasoned side down. Now what I'm going to do to my flat iron steak, I'm literally going to take a flat iron to it. This is nothing more than a grill press. It weighs about 1.5 pounds, and what it does is it holds the meat firmly down against the high heat so that it cooks evenly all the way throughout, and it gets it a really nice brown. This steak is going to cook on the first side for exactly 3 minutes. It's been exactly 3 minutes. And I'm being very specific about this timing because flat iron steaks are all the same cut of beef, and they're all always between 12 and 16 ounces. So you never have to play around with the time when you're cooking a flat iron steak. I'm going to lift up my grill press. Look at how beautiful that is. Golden. Flip it over. Put the press back on. 3 minutes on the second side, then it rests, we slice, and we eat. My steaks are cooked, and they're covered with some foil, and I'm allowing them to rest for about 10 or 15 minutes before I slice them. Now this is an optional step, but one of my favorite things to put on these sandwiches is to slather them with a really good cheese spread. And my favorite way to do this is take an ordinary 8-ounce block of cream cheese and 1 stick of butter. I'm going to add some salt, some coarsely ground black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and I like to use an herby blend. My favorite is herbes de Provence. It's got marjoram and rosemary and thyme and savory, and it's really great. Feel free to substitute Italian seasoning, Greek seasoning, whatever your favorite herby seasoning blend is. I'm going to add all of that. I'll give it just a rough stir with my spatula, just so you can see how soft all of this really is. And if you don't even have an electric mixer, you can mix this by hand, but I'm just going to make it really go fast. "30, 45 seconds. This will be blended. I'll transfer it to a small bowl and it'll be all ready to slather on our sandwiches. I've sliced my meat as thinly as I can, holding my knife at a 30-degree angle. That's the best way to slice flat steaks, any kind of flat steak. You can use any bread you want. I'm using a baguette, and I've opened it up lengthwise down the center, and I've placed it on plastic wrap to assemble my sandwiches, and I think you're going to like the way I do this. I've slathered the bottom with some of that wonderful spread that we just made. And I love onions on my steak sandwich. So I'm going to put a nice amount of onions on it. You can skip the onions if you want hot peppers on here or pickles, anything you like. But the place to put it is on top of the spread. And the reason is because the spread is going to hold it when the sandwich gets put together, so you're not going to worry about your ingredients falling off. Okay, that looks nice and pretty. And now I'm going to go heavy on this steak. And I figure every time I make these, I use the entire steak to make one sandwich. As we spoke about before, these are about 12 to 16 ounces each. So when we split this sandwich into sections, it's really going to be just a nice normal size portion of meat on each for everybody. Oh, this is wonderful. This meat smells wonderful. It's perfectly cooked. Now, this is why I like the plastic wrap, because I'm going to put the lid on this. I call this the lid. And I am going to roll this sandwich up in the plastic. I'm going to make it really tight on the ends so that the sandwich is kind of compressed down. Twist the ends. And then what I do, I have my sandwich picks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these in. I'm going to make 6 smaller sandwiches today. And in a few minutes, I'm just going to slice between my picks, put them on a tray, and we're going to eat. I don't know anyone that doesn't love a well-made steak sandwich. And I've served these to sports fanatics at tailgates and Super Bowl parties too. But there's one thing I always have to remember. Make twice as many as I think I'm going to need because they always come back for more. These are better than a burger. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
That sandwich was super delicious and pretty easy to make. When we come back, we talk to the Mark and Roy Band. Hey guys, welcome back. The Mark and Roy Band are 2 local musicians who play for the love of music. We checked them out at Cafe 210 and they stopped by our studio to talk with us. Mark Del Vecchio and Roy Long have been playing music together since high school. After going their separate ways for many years, they reunited in State College and the Mark and Roy Band was created.
I come from a very musical family, so it's always been, part of our DNA. About middle school, I'd say I got into guitar, and then by the time I was in high school, we teamed up with Roy and we had a band going through high school. And
we had gone our separate ways, because of life, for a number of years, and I found out he was back in town, and that was kind of like my ulterior motive was to find Mark and start making music again.
They play for the love of music. But after playing open mic nights and opening for household names in the area, they became a regularly scheduled act.
We started by doing some open mics around, just for fun, coming over to the house, playing some music, and going out and
they
doing
were
the
bad.
open mic.
It was terrible at first.
Then started doing acoustic on Sunday nights from 8 to 10 in front of the headliner band, just for fun. And we've been doing that ever since. Added a 3rd person, added a 4th person, and now we've got the full band. And we still step out and do some acoustic stuff just as a duo from time to time. And then we play with a full band. It's a lot of fun.
Roy and Mark play acoustically together and also have a full band with students.
We have a pretty diverse age range, I guess, in the band, I would say. I'm 35. We've got a bass player who's 22 and he's a senior grad student.
He's a senior, yeah.
The drummer's 21, Alex, and the girl who sings with us, Cass, she's younger too. She's in her 20s.
25.
So. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, working with some of the younger crowd, because they're definitely there's definitely a different element. They high energy, but remembering back to where I was in the 20s, you're still figuring things out and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting because we're on a musical equal plane with them when we do the whole band thing. Yeah. But then there's also kind of unspoken. We try to look out for them and set good example and be good role models and make sure that they get home safe and everything like that. So it is kind of interesting. We're like half bandmates, half parents. It sounds really dorky, I'm sorry, but you gotta. We're very responsible people and we like to look out for them, make sure that they're not making bad decisions.
The love of playing for an audience is what has them coming back each week.
There's a feeling, there's a sensation that ends when the music stops. You know, when you're packing up and that adrenaline rush is gone. I don't know how to explain it when it's happening, but there's a difference. There's a difference between playing notes and making music. And sometimes you go out there and you're just not feeling it, and you're just playing a bunch of notes, or you're singing a bunch of words. And then there's those magic moments that are getting more frequent now than not, when you're actually making music and you're playing the instrument, and the crowd feels it and you feel it, and you feed off of each other's energy, and it is a wonderful thing. You see it in the eyes of the people in the crowd. You see it in the eyes of everybody else in the band when it happens, and it's magic. There's no other way to describe it. It's just magic. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's great to connect with people through music. I mean, because music is just different. You know, there's something about it. Your favorite song comes on, and it just triggers something in you. And you know, it's a universal feeling. Everyone knows it. Everyone's felt it. So it's great to kind of be able to provide that.
If you want to see what all the hype is about, you're in luck. The Mark and Roy Band plays all over the area.
Sure. Sunday nights at the Saloon. We do the bar over in Boalsburg the first Saturday of the month. Brownies up on the mountain on the third Saturday of the month. Mark and I have been doing some duo stuff. We're working out. We've done Gamble Mill, West Side Stadium, Allen Street Grill. I'm missing a ton of them. But we're kind of filling those in with early evening or later evening slots, and that changes from week to week, so check out our schedule online and you can see where we are.
Visit facebook.com/Mark and Roy for a list of their upcoming shows. Well, that's all for this edition of The Center of It All. For more great WHVL content, log on to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook, and be sure to follow me on Twitter. Thanks for joining and have an awesome day.